Hello, and thank you for checking out this data visualization on teacher quality gaps in U.S. public schools. The purpose of this video is to explain how to interpret these figures and provide some context for understanding them. So the purpose of all of these figures is to show the evolution of teacher quality gaps. And what I mean by that is the average difference in exposure to teachers with different qualifications between advantaged and disadvantaged students, and how these teacher quality gaps have changed over time in two states, North Carolina and Washington. To provide a concrete example, I'm going to show how these teacher quality gaps have changed over time in Washington in terms of exposure to novice teachers. These are teachers with less than 5 years of teaching experience. On the x-axis of this figure are the years of data available in Washington, which run from 1988 through 2015. And on the y-axis are the proportion of novice teachers teaching in schools and districts attended by different types of students. Let's start at the district level with non-URM students. URM stands for underrepresented minority, so these are Black, Hispanic, and American Indian students. When we look at non-URM students at the district level, here is how the proportion of novice teachers in districts attended by non-URM students has changed over time. When we compare this to the similar line for URM students, we get something that looks like this. You'll notice that the solid line is above the dashed line in each year. This vertical distance is what we call the district level teacher quality gap, or the average difference in the proportion of novice teachers in districts attended by URM students compared to districts attended by non-URM students. In other words, URM students tend to attend districts that have more novice teachers than non-URM students. We can also look at these differences at the school level. These are going to be the black lines that are animated here. The vertical distance between these two sets of lines are what we call the school level teacher quality gap, or the average difference in the proportion of novice teachers in schools attended by URM students relative to schools attended by non-URM students. The advantage of this layout is that in the paper, there's a natural interpretation to the distances between these lines. The distance between the red lines can be interpreted as the portion of the teacher quality gap that's explained by the sorting of students and teachers across different districts in the state, whereas the remainder of the gap, the solid black bars here, represents the portion of the gap that's explained by the sorting of students and teachers across different schools within districts. In the paper, we simply drop these two sets of bars down to the bottom of the figure and look back over time to see how both the magnitude and sources of these teacher quality gaps have changed over time. The interpretation of this figure is that teacher quality gaps with respect to novice teachers have grown over the past several decades in Washington, and almost all of this growth is due to increased inequity across different districts in the state, rather than increased inequity across different schools within districts. This is what this same figure that I just walked through looks like in the data visualizations below. There are 6 sets of data visualizations on this page. This is the first one. The remainders look at different measures of teacher quality, such as teacher licensure test scores and teacher value added, and also look at both exposure to low quality teachers and the average qualifications of teachers in schools and districts. Another difference is that we have added additional years of data that are available now that weren't available at the time we published the paper. Within each data visualization, you can explore how teacher quality gaps have changed over time in each state, North Carolina or Washington, and according to each measure of student disadvantage, receipt of free or reduced price lunch or FRL, or URM status. Thank you again for checking out this data visualization. If you have any feedback, feel free to pass it along to Roddy Theobald at rtheobald@air.org. Thank you.